Hi, it's Kaz here from Everyday Property Investing. I'm here to share with you a video quick tip. Today's video quick tip is all about Real Estate Investor. Now, Real Estate Investor provides software tools online that can assist you in researching property, analysing property deals, and also managing your property portfolio. In addition to that, they offer knowledge resources which not only show you how to use their software, but how to apply the Real Estate Investor software to your real estate investing strategy, and also offer knowledge resources on real estate investing in general and increasing your knowledge as a real estate investor. So what we're going to do today is really quickly, we're going to log in, have a quick look around the Real Estate Investor website. There is a lot to see, and I'm really going to, just skim the surface here, but you will be able to select a link on our website which will take you to a full webinar on the full functionality of this system, and it really is powerful stuff. So let's get into it. Okay, so here we are, and I've logged into Real Estate Investor, and as you can see, I end up with a dashboard over here on the left which shows me the Real Estate Investor tools that I have access to here, and there are quite a few different tools. We have resources here in the middle which are training webinars, videos, podcasts, property reports, case studies, etc. And then you have news and bits and pieces over here on the right. So in terms of the knowledge resources and training materials, I just want to touch on that first. Real Estate Investor provides software tools, but they don't just provide software, they also provide support on how to use it. They provide training and education in property investing in general, and in how to apply their tools to improve and enhance your real estate investing. So I think that's a great thing, because a lot of the times, you might buy a piece of software, you download, you install it, and that's kind of the end of the relationship with the software provider. But Real Estate Investor is a company, unlike, they're not just a software company, they are a real estate investing company, and they are interested in helping you out with your real estate investing. So that's great. Just as some examples, you can have a look at the training area. They have live coaching sessions. They actually have a coach who presents the coaching sessions and makes these tutorials, and I think that's great. You can do things like look at pre-recorded training sessions here, such as how to use their software to find positive cash flow deals, how to use Real Estate Investor to find renovation projects. So they're really great tools for how to use the software and how to get the most out of it. Now, in addition to this training materials on how to use Real Estate Investor, you also have an entire module over here called My Knowledge. Now, My Knowledge provides real estate investing education for beginners and for people beyond the beginner stage. So they actually have, as you can see here, it says over 700 articles and 1,400 multimedia files, which is pretty impressive. This stage 1 education product goes through 15 modules, all the way from the beginning at understanding real estate investing and the types of real estate investments, and then it goes along helping you to build your team, look at asset protection, accounting and tax, etc., all the way through to making your offer, negotiating and managing your property. So they're all the basics that you really need to know and have a grasp on in order to maximize your chances of success in real estate investing. Now, as well as a stage 1, they have a stage 2 section which has a number of modules which look at some of the more advanced strategies, such as renovating or subdividing, strata titling, stuff like that. So being a member of Real Estate Investor doesn't just give you software, it also gives you access to these knowledge resources, which is fantastic stuff. Now, next thing we want to do is just have a brief look over at the tools that Real Estate Investor have. Now, we don't have time to go through all of these in detail, so I'm going to just whiz through them, but we're going to have a bit more of a detailed look at Investor Search. So we'll start off there. Investor Search is, has been likened to the Google of the real estate investing world, and you'll see why in a second. What makes this such a powerful real estate investment search engine is the types of search criteria that you can search on, and the information that it presents back to you on the properties that you find. So I'm just going to remove some of these things here so you can get a bit of an indication of the bog standard real estate investing site that you go and look into has search criteria similar to what we're seeing here. Sorry, not there, but there. So usually you would enter where you want to find a place, so I'm just going to pick somewhere sort of local. Region, there we go. I'm going to pick Gippsland, that's close by to me, and we'll find a location in Gippsland somewhere that we can have a look at. How about Traralgon's a good one, we'll go Traralgon. I'm not going to limit this by postcode or anything like that, and I'm going to say that I'm looking for a house up to about 200,000, a cheapie, and just a 2-bedroom house I'm looking for. Now, if usually in your normal search engine for real estate, you hit search at this time and you get a whole bunch of stuff, but this is where the power of Real Estate Investor becomes apparent, because I can select this option here and I get to choose from strategies. Now this is really great. Have a look at the strategies here. Am I looking for capital growth? Do I want discounted property? Am I looking for positive cash flow properties, renovation projects, subdivisions, etc.? What it does is it searches the listings available for terms that are relevant to these strategies, and it returns properties that are relevant to your strategy. So let's say I'm looking for a renovation project. So I'm going to hit that. You know, all of these terms here relate now to renovation. So yeah, I like all of those ones. Yep, I want those. Let's just say I'm going to look for all of those for the minute. Now the other thing I can do is I can select this option here, statistics, and I can actually start to narrow down. I don't want to buy a house that is already valued at the median house price for this area. I want to try and buy something that is under the median house price, because my aim here is to do a cosmetic renovation and increase the value. I don't want to, I want to maximise my chances here of being able to increase value, so I'm hoping to buy a little bit undervalued because it needs some work, etc. So I'm going to say the houses I'm looking at only show me up to, say, 80% of the median house price for that region. That's what I'm interested in. And I can hit 1% here, and that'll get rid of listings that don't have any price and things like that. So the other thing I can do is just specify the maximum listing age. So I can just look at, show me things that have only been added in the last week or the last 2 weeks, etc. So I'm going to hit search here and see what we come back with. So as you can see here, I've ended up with 7 matches based on my criteria that I entered. And what we can see is here I've got Traralgon, 185,000, 71.4% of the mean. So already Real Estate Investor is starting to give me information that your standard real estate search engine does not have. This is the sort of information that what usually happens is you're in Real Estate Investor, realestate.com or domain.com, you do your search, you go, oh, well, there's my house, right. Now what, I need to go off to about 10 different websites to get all the supporting information that helps me make decisions. So Real Estate Investor brings all of that information to you in the one spot at your fingertips where you're searching. So what you can see here is I can see that this house is 71.4% of the median house price. I can see the date it was listed, which is really handy information, particularly if you can find something that's been listed for a while. It puts you perhaps in a good position for bargaining and negotiations. I can look here at the suburb statistics, so it's telling me all about Traralgon's local 1-year sales growth, median rent in that area, the median rental yield, the median listing price for houses, how long houses tend to be on the market in that area. It tells me postcode statistics in terms of owner-occupiers versus renters, etc. Tells me the population of the region. It tells me the spread of price values, property values across the various price ranges. So as you can see, there are quite a few in that sort of less expensive area, but there's actually a reasonable spread across that region up until about that sort of 500k mark. It starts to max out, not far up above there or around that area, but the majority of my houses sort of fall into that range there. But I've got a good spread, so theoretically, if I purchased a house in a lower price range, there are people buying for more than that in this region. Now, obviously, there's other factors involved there. You need to go and look at the house prices for that particular street and that particular area of Traralgon, etc. But this is really good information that is at your fingertips here. The other thing is it gives you the actual description of the house, but it also gives you links off to really useful resources that you would otherwise have to go off and find yourself, such as look at Traralgon on Wikipedia, look at the local council website, show me all the sold houses, show me the rental houses. If I want to have a look at the property on Google Maps and Street View, I can just click straight away here. If I want to look at the listing in Domain, which is obviously this is coming from Domain, I can click there and it just opens that listing immediately up for me, so I can go and review it in that in the source sort of location. So this is what is great about Real Estate Investor. It brings all of this really important investor knowledge to you at the point that where you're making your search, and that's really valuable. It saves you a lot of time and a lot of effort. And often, people forget about these things. They forget to go and do this sort of due diligence, and it's putting it in front of your face, which is perfect. So that's the search option for Real Estate Investor. Now, there are other tools, and we're just going to really do a quick skim because this is supposed to be a quick tip video, and already we're at the 10-minute mark. So other tools that it has, a property analyzer, so you can actually go and analyze property. So if I hit this sample property here, I find a property I like using Investor Search, I can run the numbers on the property, and it'll help me determine things like the expenses of the property, the cash flow, the depreciation. There's a depreciation estimator, principal and interest report, so you can look at loan repayments and things like that. All that information at your fingertips where you need it. There's also, once you have purchased property, there's a fantastic portfolio tracker. Now, if anyone with 1 or 2 or even more properties knows that once you start to get lots of bits of paper everywhere, things go a bit pear-shaped and it becomes unwieldy to look after your portfolio. But it is so important to remember that this is a business, and it's probably some of the biggest investments you own, being property, so you need to look after it like a business. Having a portfolio tracker like this brings the information to you in a meaningful fashion, all in one spot. So you can have all your properties listed here, and at a glance you can have a look at your portfolio. You can look at all of your tenancy information, so you can go and review this and say, okay, my reviews are due, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to email my property manager, etc. You can look at the cash flow across your portfolio. You can look at the equity that you have within your portfolio. You can look at all of the basic sort of rundown of the financials of your portfolio there. You can see all of your contacts. Contacts is really handy because you do deal with a lot of different people. You deal with tradespeople, you deal with finance people, you deal with real estate people, you deal with tenants, all that sort of stuff. So it's a good contact database there. You can set goals on your property. That's really important to set goals on your investing. And so you need to make sure that you're constantly reviewing your portfolio to ensure that you're meeting those goals. And you can also have a photo gallery that lets you put some pictures in. So that's a pretty cool tool as well, the portfolio tracker that you get as a part of your Real Estate Investor membership. Now, there are some other tools there which I'm probably not going to touch so much on today. My Value and My Research, these are part of the premium package or for Real Estate Investor, and have great tools for doing property valuations using up-to-date market data. Now, I've had a look at this in action, and it is really great stuff. There's also research data available on suburb data, market values, rental yields, etc. So recent sales, all that sort of stuff. And these sorts of tools, the research and My Value, it really makes sure that you are paying the right price for the properties that you buy. So, that sort of stuff, all of this stuff can save you thousands of dollars when you are buying property. So, that's the whirlwind tour. I better wrap it up. This has been a quick tip video for everyday property investing, and I hope you like it. Real Estate Investor, there is so much more to this software that you are yet to see. There will be a link on the website that you can click on, and that will take you to a location that will have a webinar that gives you the full details where you can view more about Real Estate Investor and how to sign up. And I do believe that they have an offer on a free trial there, so you might want to get in and have a look at it. It is awesome stuff. Thanks very much. See you later.